Hey guys, Lydia here, and we are back with a brand new roundup of 4K enhanced games. New updates are being added all the time. We play every single one of them to pick out our personal highlights. December saw huge games get the X treatment, including the much anticipated 4K Destiny 2 patch and Witcher 3's spread of improvements. And we've got the breakdown on 8 of the best. If your games are in this video, go grab the free patches available for them right now. Oh, and if you want, try watching this video in 4K. So let's take a look, shall we?
Let's start with a game I've spent a ridiculous amount of time playing. Time I'm going to need to double up on now that the 4K update has arrived. Yes, Destiny 2 is the real deal on the Xbox One X, with a native 4K resolution bringing Bungie's sci-fi worlds to life with more clarity than ever before. And this is a game with so much to see. At the bigger end of the scale, there are the alien worlds themselves. You can gawp at the giant architecture or look out on the horizon to see vast oceans or other planets in the sky. At the other end of the scale, you have all the tiny details that bring the firefights to life, like the showers of sparks when you incinerate the Red Legion with solar damage, or the mad chaos of an army of Guardians, all unleashing their supers at once. All this looked amazing on the Xbox One, of course, but in 4K, all those particle effects add up into something else entirely. The game features high dynamic range lighting too, giving all the colours a gentle scrub so they come out brighter than normal. You won't be melting your eyeballs like you do when you see burning bright HDR flames in Assassin's Creed Origins, but it lends the game another level of detail to go with that improved clarity. Seeing one of the best looking games of 2017 look even better is a real treat, one you can see for yourself for free using the game's free trial. Honestly, get that downloaded, fire it up on a 4K TV and you'll be reaching for the purchase button in no time.
As you've probably heard a million times by now, the magic of high dynamic range lighting is that it makes your lights lighter and your darks darker. Sounds a bit like washing powder for your games and films. And if you really want to put the tech to the test, whites come none whiter than a big ass mountain covered in snow. Playing Steep, or its more recent Winter Olympics expansion, is a great test run for any TV with HDR capabilities. The slopes look so crisp and refreshing that you'll want to dive into the screen and make snow angels. Don't actually do this though, as you'll end up more busted than this guy. Where you really notice the technology in play is where bright colours collide with the snow. The bright orange of a wingsuit, for example, as you hurl yourself from a hot air balloon and try not to become a bloody pancake they have to scrape off the Alps. Or the eye-catching greens of the trees as you go whipping past on a downhill stunt adventure. It can look a tad hyper-real at times, but then you're not an Olympic snowboarder in real life, so let's not get too picky about believability. I'll admit that Steep somewhat passed me by originally, going at 100 miles per hour on 2 pieces of wood like a maniac. But this update has been a great chance to discover a really enjoyable addition to the extreme sports genre.
Next up is one of the most thorough updates yet on the Xbox One X. Ubisoft's historical battle game leaves no stone unturned in its 4K crusade. So many graphical features are enhanced, it's frankly ridiculous. Dynamic water now believably reflects the world back in real time, as you can see by that bloke running across the bridge here. There's increased polygons on distant objects thanks to the console's increased processing power, thereby allowing a more consistent level of detail in maps and really letting you drink in the view. And shadow resolution is bumped up by 50% to make shady stuff crispier and more defined. If stunning video game visuals were a castle, For Honor has conquered it and planted a flag in its tallest tower. And not only that, textures are noticeably sharper all round. For Honor uses a special upscale technique to get the best 4K resolution image possible. This increased resolution, combined with the improvements to far-off detail and water reflections, gives the game unmatched graphical prowess. It actually makes me want to be better at the game. Hiya! Oh dear, well, at least my death looked better.
On to LA Noire's case file now, and I accuse this open world detective game of 4K resolution in the first degree. My evidence is an overhaul to the lighting system, brilliantly detailed textures that let you see every line and wrinkle on people's faces, and a gorgeous new skybox with detailed cloud cover. You don't need to be a Cole Phelps to crack this case, because LA Noire looks incredible. Interrogations are the highlight. Lifelike performances that the developer actually captured using a pioneering 360-degree camera setup results in facial animations that appear even more scarily real now. This tech is central to the game's interrogation mechanic, as you have to judge whether your interviewee is lying or not. A nervous dart of the eyes can give the game away. Is this guy double bluffing, or is he just a hammy actor? That's up to you to find out, detective. Maybe it's me, but I seem to be able to read people's motives more keenly thanks to the higher graphical fidelity. Watch out, crooks. I have the law and a 4K TV on my side. Getting the chance to explore a faithfully recreated 1940s LA again is just as fascinating as it was when the game first came out back in 2011. Only now the cars look even shinier and the shop fronts are full of detail, and you can properly see the fear on someone's face when you walk up to them and start pushing them. Not gonna lie, if this happened to me in real life, I would be halfway down the street. Perhaps I should hand in my badge. Nah.
Capcom's Doggy Adventure also gets the 4K treatment. Now, this masterpiece already wowed everyone with its painterly looks when it launched over a decade ago, but it looks even nicer on the Xbox One X. That's some achievement. Like, the Mona Lisa wouldn't subtly improve if you saw it in high definition, but Akami really does. The game tells the tale of Amaterasu, a Japanese sun goddess who inhabits the furry form of a white wolf. This white wolf is on a mission to defeat an 8-headed demon before it turns the lush land of Nippon into a wasteland. Barking only gets you so far here, so you'll have to whip out your celestial paintbrush and draw on the world itself. Or just, draw hearts around Amaterasu, because, why not? Brushstrokes join up constellations and repair bridges. You're like a canine Bob Ross. On the Xbox One X, you can choose between playing in modern widescreen mode or the original 4:3 aspect ratio. Also, as a cool little touch, the interactive loading game screens that went missing in re-releases of Akami are back too. They let you earn bonus demon fangs which can be traded for in-game items. The game is full of cool touches like this, and since it's now enhanced in full 2160p, it turns out the saying is true. You can teach an old dog new tricks.
Do you like rats? Silly question, really. Who doesn't? Well, you're in for a real rodenty treat with Warhammer End Times Vermintide on Xbox One X, because it makes all those gnawing, naked-tailed critters look extra detailed. Take it from me, no matter what your stance on rats is, whether you think they're super cute or ultra adorbs, Vermintide propels them to new heights, and you'll get plenty of occasions for a close-up glimpse given they're fond of attacking you in overwhelming numbers. If you're unfamiliar with the game, basically it's a co-op survival for up to 4 players set in the Warhammer universe. The action takes place around the city of Ubisoft, which, fortunately for you, is overrun by Skaven. Aw, cute. I love their natted cloaks and squinty eyes. You must thin out the buck-toothed forces and drive them out of the city. Environments are stunning, and there are a range of them, from the summit of the Magnus Tower to the bowels of the Under Empire. Vermintide has native 4K render support, improved aliasing and shadow casting, more detailed textures, and a sharper image for an improved visual look. The stronger CPU power allows you to run the game in a more consistent frame rate for a smoother game experience. So you can wield swords, daggers, axes, hammers, bows, guns, and magical staves with reckless abandon. Now, there's no HDR support on this one, but rest assured HDR is fully in the upcoming sequel Vermintide 2, which is due in the first half of the year. You know what they say? Double the rats, double the fun. Here's another game getting a new lease of life thanks to its Xbox One X enhancements. Homefront: The Revolution was an intriguing take on the open-world shooter, but its ambitious CryEngine visuals could strain the original consoles. On Xbox One X, however, you can finally drink in what a fine-looking game this is. It's not native 4K with a 1080p image upscaled for 4K TVs, but the resolution jump is 4 times that of the Xbox original, letting you appreciate all the wrinkles on the Resistance leaders' faces. Hey, if you were trying to take back your city from foreign invaders, you'd have worry lines too. It's a game stuffed with visual effects, from puddle reflections to some really nuanced lighting that makes the game feel like a lived-in place. It also boasts some lovely high dynamic range lighting. Large chunks of the game are spent sneaking around the city at night, and seeing flaming barrels and Molotov cocktails burning out the darkness is a great use of the technology. It also gives all the Korean army's camera sensors a really sharp colour boost, but don't spend too long gawping at those unless you want to get a severe beating from the guards. Like Steep, this is another game that has snuck up on me on the Xbox One X and left me pleasantly surprised. Even better, it has a hefty 4-hour free trial available, so you can see it in action for yourself. Why not let it occupy your hard drive?
The Witcher 3 is one of the most visually stunning games around at 1080p, so it only stands to reason that it's one of the most stunning games around at 4K too. The Xbox One X update adds 2 new visual options to The Witcher 3's display settings: 4K mode and performance mode. 4K mode delivers stable 30 FPS action at 4K resolution. Performance mode runs the game at 60 FPS and scales the resolution dynamically between 1080p and 4K in an effort to meet that frame rate target. Both options have a lot going for them. If you've explored every inch of this world, performance mode gives you a new perspective on old favourites. Fluidly scrapping in marshes with a bunch of fancy creatures, or walking through the bustling hub of Novigrad as the frame rate remains steady is a revelation. In denser areas, The Witcher does slightly drop the resolution and frame rate, but when it can do, it ekes every inch of power from your Xbox One X, all the better to go sightseeing with. But if you opt for 4K mode, you're in for a treat. You'll get high resolution textures, denser foliage that sways in the breeze, and clearly defined shadows. This remains one of the greatest RPGs ever made, so what other excuse do you need to dive in and experience it in a whole new way?
There you have it, the latest and greatest games updated for Xbox One X. Of course, games new and old are being patched all the time, so for more roundups of the latest and greatest 4K games that you can play on your Xbox One X, subscribe to Xbox On. And why not check out our previous highlight videos? And don't forget to like the video and maybe drop a comment below telling us what game you'd like to see in 4K. See you later, friends. Bye!